I'm Hosna from Afghanistan and I'm 18 years old. Mm, Next year, I want to come to China to study business bachelor. And because in Afghanistan it's a war and I cannot make a diploma. So I don't know how I can make a solution to make diploma and go to university. Right now I'm studying HSK4 and also in here I cannot pass the exam, the HSK exam. So I don't know what should I do.
Okay, so this might be a bit more of a tricky one because usually when you apply, you are required to give some kind of documentation of education. So if you're applying for possibly like a non-degree program, or if you're applying for a bachelor's, you're usually required to give like a high school graduation certificate. And if it's difficult, if it's not possible to give that in, it is possible for us that we could ask the universities if there's any way, but you will still have to give some kind of a way of showing them what your grades are and what level of education you are in, and that's why people require it. So maybe there is a possibility of, if there is a possibility, any possibility whatsoever in getting a high school graduation certificate, that is something that you would need to think about, if there's any way of doing that. And if there's possibly a way for you to maybe take another type of test that is almost the same as doing, like, for example, taking an SAT. That kind of test also counts as doing or doing a high school graduation. So maybe that is another way of showing that you've reached that level, because otherwise they're not going to know what level, like academic level you are on. You'll also need to be able to show that what your grades are, just so that they know if you can keep up in the classes. Maybe it would be a possibility for you to do a non-degree program first and to use that as a way to show that you're at a certain level to then apply for a degree program afterwards, like maybe a foundation program. As for HSK4, it's good if you have a certain level. However, I think that if you don't have the official certificate, you can't really study in Chinese because they will require you to have the official certificate. But what is possible is that you can apply for English programs if you have a high enough English level and start with that. And once you're in China, you could write the official HSK test and keep that as a way of showing your Chinese level.
Because I think my English is not very good, and I think the Chinese is better. I study university in Chinese language.
Yes. To apply for the Chinese programs, you're going to have the official HSK certificate in order to apply.
Yeah, and this is also a problem because of the Taliban. The girls cannot study in Afghanistan. And last year I finished my high school. So also diploma is a very big problem. I have so much stress because maybe next year the China is open and I can go to China. But without diploma, I don't know how to tell the university I finished my high school.
Yes. No, that's definitely a very big problem. And I think that that's not something that a lot of universities are going to be able to understand. So I think that when it comes to that, also you will need to keep in mind that the borders of China are not open at the moment. So if you do get into the university and get accepted, you will have to continue with online classes, and you'll have to think about, because we don't know if the borders will be opening this year, next year, and how long it will take for them to open. So it might be quite a difficult situation of trying to apply to China. So maybe another option is to think about other countries other than China. Like, for example, applying to maybe German universities or European universities, where a lot of those universities are also a lot more lenient when it comes to countries that are dealing with war. They are a lot more lenient with accepting certain certificates, or maybe not accepting these certificates and accepting, maybe you just do a different type of test and you can apply to study at that university. They're a lot more forgiving when it comes to that.
Thank you so much.